Hello ladies, it's great to be talking to you again. I can just picture you sitting in front of me as if we were in a class, and well, I guess I've taught in a few places now. But you're at home working at your craft table or desk. And this video is to go with the Maya Design Holiday in the Alps Shabby Chic Christmas card set number 2, kit number 2. And in this video, we're going to have a refresher course on making flowers from paper and doing the paper strip mitering. Now in this card here, you can see the miter. Oh, I should turn it around so you can see it better. You can see that I've got all these, it's striped paper, and cut it into strips and mitered the corners. Maybe I can come a little closer and hopefully it's clear enough for you to see, mitering the corners. And so some of you will have already done this technique with other classes of mine, and some of you will be new to this, so I thought I would add this in the video for this card kit. So I'm going to put together the last card, and again we're going to be doing mitering. It's going to be with wider paper strips, and again it's the striped paper. This is one of my favorite techniques to do with striped paper, because when you put striped paper on a card, it's all going in one direction, correct? But if you cut strips, depending on the size that you want, you can make the stripes go in all 4 directions. So this is one of my favorite things to do with striped paper. So let's start with this, the paper mitering. Now, I often like to put double-sided adhesive tape on the backs of these, but there's a disadvantage to doing that. I had started doing it because I wanted to have the adhesive right to the edge where I cut. But unfortunately, it makes the pieces more slippery and you don't always get that angle cut perfectly. So the better way to do it is without putting your adhesive tape on the back. So we have 2 strips here for this card. This is the last card that I'm doing here. And you have the 2 lengths for the side. Oh, it looks like I need to shorten them. I forgot to do the 5 7/8. They're still at 6 inches. And then you have your shorter pieces this way. So just let me shorten these here, and we will get on to doing the mitering. It's really easy. It's not difficult. And there we go, 5 7/8. So just let me double check this here. Yep, just a little bit of brown showing at the top of the bottom. So because we, I always like to try, if at all possible, I cut that wrong and so I didn't double. Hello everyone, I'm back. Apparently my cell phone cut off while I was recording, and I already went ahead and showed you how to do the mitering. My pieces are already cut. So I'm going to, maybe I should have done this before, is I'm going to take this strip of paper, I'm going to cut some more paper and show you how to do it again. I'm going to cut them at 1/4 inch, since that's what they are on that particular card. So these 2 would need to be 5 7/8 in length. So I'm going to line them both up at 5 7/8. There we go. And then these 2 shorter ones were at what, 3 3/8. So I'll just cut 1, and I should get oh no, I can't get 3 3/8 twice out of one strip since it's only 6 inches. So I'll cut 2 more. And I'll cut these at 3 3/8 inches. So I have my 2 at 5 7/8 and 2 at 3 3/8 at 1/4 inch. And one of the things I mentioned is I used to put double-sided adhesive tape on the back of these before I mitered them, because I like the idea of having that double-sided adhesive tape right to the very edge, but I found it was a little slippery to work with. So I've gone back to the other way of not using it and putting the tape on afterwards. And of course your pieces will be edged with ink in your ink blender. You only need to do one side. I did both sides because I didn't know which way I was going to be using them. So you're going to have your shorter ones for the top and the bottom and your longer ones for the sides. Oops. And what I do is I take the 2 pieces and make sure that they're flush with each other on the, the side and the top here on the 2 sides. And the smaller the piece, the harder it is. But when you do these ones, it'll be a lot easier. So, and when I do the bigger ones, I like to use my big scissors because you get a straighter edge than you do with the small snippet or fussy cutting, whatever scissors you have for crafting. But with this little 1/4 inch one, these ones work fine. So you just make sure that it's flush on those 2 corners, 2 sides, and you can go from the inside out or the outside in, it doesn't matter. And you just make sure that your scissor blade goes past the point and cut. And then they line up like so, quite nicely. And then you're going to do this side. You're going to do exactly the same thing. Make sure they're flush. Hold them together. I always have to double check because they like to move, especially the longer one. And snip. So there you've got that. Now we're going to work with the bottom. So we'll line that up, and it doesn't matter which is on top and which is on the bottom. Oops, I won't be able to cut that with my finger in the way. There we go. And then the last corner. There we go. And you want to remember which is the top and the bottom because you want the corners to match up. So there we go. That's how easy it is to miter. And then when you put the double-sided tape on the edge, on the back, you're going to push those mitered corners together as tightly as you can so there's no gaps. Sometimes your stripes will line up beautifully and other times they will not, but that's no big deal. So there we go. So that is what was done on this card. Okay, so we have the 2 panels on front, and the pattern paper is exactly the width that you needed, and then the strips just go right on top, with the exception of the piece on the inside. On this particular card, you put these on first. Okay, so there's about 1/8 inch showing all the way around of the brown. And then you put this piece in, it should fit in perfectly. Now, if you're worried about it, you can put this one in first, but then you're not too sure if one's going to end up too close to the fold. And with this card, that's important because there's double thickness on this side, double thickness on that side. And when you close it, if you have too much thickness here, that's why I did it that way, right beside it instead of on top. It would be too hard to fold, and you'd have to have a bigger border of brown showing or something. So so that's it. All right, now the next thing, I'll put this aside. So when on this card we will have these ones here, all lined up like so. I'm not going to attach it just yet. This is the last card I'm working on, and I wanted to show you how to do that. And then this just gets attached right on top, so you can see the stripes going in all directions around. It's nicer than just having the stripe, because that way you don't get much there or much there, and you just get, you know, the sides. So that's why I like doing this. Okay, and the other thing I said I would show you what to do is, so let me get this off, is making these little paper flowers. This is something we used to do before they had the dies, and I know I had a die or two for these paper flowers, but I sure couldn't find them, so I don't know if I loaned them out and forgot about asking to get them back, and they forgot to give it back to me or what. But before the dies came out, you would take a square piece of paper and you would, let's see if I have one here. I thought I had an extra square. Oh, right, I had to use it for this one. Then you take your pencil and you, oops, grab some coconut fiber, and you just draw sort of a scalloped circle. This one, it's been a while since I've done them, and you might want to go down just a bit more than I did, because it made it more difficult to put this one together. And sometimes when you make these, you're going to find that these petals line up with each other instead of alternating with each rotation. And there's nothing wrong with breaking off and attaching it somewhere else to make it do the alternating thing, and you can do that more than once. Just to make sure that the petals alternate better. Then you're gonna, you know, cut that out in a spiral, and then ink both edges. And the reason why I ink both edges is because some of this will show a little bit, and so you want it to look finished, right? Not forgotten. And then the smaller the flower, the smaller the square. This was done with a 3x3 square, which you will have in your instructions. These were done with a 2x2 square, which will be in your instructions. Or you can just use 3x3 and not use the whole piece and make two different sized buds. It's entirely up to you. These should be cut for you, die cut for you, and you can ink those edges. That's for this last card. This one here. Okay, you'll see it finished when it's posted. And you'll need one flower and 2 buds. And the buds are the other side of this blue crisscross paper, I think. Let me just double check. Yes. There's no, it's not, because that's a different pattern. Where are, maybe I used it all up. Oh, here we go. No, that's not it. Oh, the gloves. Here we go. Yeah, they're the other side of the striped paper that we use for the border. Okay, they're the other side of this paper. And I use that side rather than the stripe because I don't like stripes on flowers. And these cute little mittens, I think, go really well with the figure of the woman on skis being pulled by the sled. So then you are just going to do 2 things. You're going to take your bone folder, And this is what you're doing is you're shaping and the fibers, loosening the fibers, shaping the fibers in the paper to make it easier to roll up into a flower. And you're going to do it two ways. Now for the larger flower, you want the petals to bend this way. Okay, so you're going to do this all the way around. Okay, and you'll notice here that my scissors cut in, and you can always fix that by covering it with your ink blender thingy. So, and you're just going to do that. And if you want to cut them deeper, I would than the ones that I did it. They're not deep enough, the petals. So you're just going to go around like this, kind of breaking the fibers, shaping the paper. Okay. And then because we're going to be rolling it up, you want the fibers to roll up as well. So you're going to just see how I can do this. Yeah, do it this way. Roll it this way, like so. And it'll just make it a little easier. You won't get folds of paper. It'll, round better. It's a bit fiddly, but it's worth doing this. Your flower will look better if you do this. And as far as you can go. Oops, I ripped mine, but that's no big deal. Okay, if it happens to you, it is no big deal. Okay. So you can already feel that the paper is not as stiff. And you always start with the inside of the flower. And I'm going to get my liquid glue. You can choose to do it with hot glue or liquid glue. For the flower, I would use liquid glue because then you can always move it around or make adjustments. And I can't find my pin. I just had it out. Don't know what I did with it. I'll use one of these. Maybe that'll work. Yep. Okay. So you're going to start on the inside and you're going to put a bit of glue, okay, like this. And then you're going to roll it. Oops, I flattened it. I don't want it flat. I want it round, right? We don't want a flat rose. Okay. And so far the petals are going all right. There comes a point when you'll feel that you'll need to cut the paper. And this is probably where I will do it to alternate the petals better. So you're going to line up one of the bumps of the scallop, I guess, of your, see, they're lining up again. So maybe I'll just, nope, I have to cut it. So the other one I didn't have to cut so much. And see how it's lining up better now. All right, and then we're going to add this next one on to make the bigger rose. If you use a hot glue gun, you have to be really fast. So I don't use it for this purpose. Mine is still packed away somewhere, so Let's see now. I'm going to cut that off. There we go. Make sure the, oops, scallops go where they need to go. Some people like to make a bunch of teardrop sized pieces and glue them together one piece at a time. If you are familiar with that technique, you can do that. Okay. And line up the scallops so they're alternating. I don't know if you can see that very well. It seems every 2 scallops they start lining up with each other. So I'm gonna cut it here. Keep holding this one. See, I've got 3 that are somewhat lining up with each other here. Okay. And yeah, just that's the advantage of the die cut ones. And then this last little point part, I just sort of, oops, got a petal caught in there. There we go. Bring it down to the bottom and push that back in. And you kind of have to hold it for a little bit, or you could use a clothes peg or one of those, you know, paper clips, those black paper clips. Well, they come in other colors too. But there you have a rose. Now this one turned out smaller than this one, but they're both made with the same size. So maybe what I'll do is put that one inside. Yeah, so you have enough paper if you want to do that. You can, you know, put 2 together like that to make a nice big rose. All right, and then like I say, for the little one, you're just gonna have the right side out instead of in, because we're not curling them over, so you want to see the right side out for the buds. So there we have it. I am so grateful for you wonderful ladies for purchasing the Shabby Chic kits. This one was supposed to be a slow and steady paced kit making project for me, but one day I was in a mood to work on a card, and before I knew it I did another one, and I just got it to the ready stage to embellish before I you know, I did 3 that were ready to embellish, and then I did the next 3. So you have 3 gatefold cards like this one, and then you have 3 regular folded card. Now these are a different size. These are an old traditional European card size. They don't make this size that often anymore, but it's a really nice size. You can even you know, if you have a really large gift, you can even punch a hole in there and use it as a card combination gift tag if you wanted to. Just, you know, punch your hole in there and put it on a large gift. I just wanted to show you on this one here. These are all like tags attached at the top, and the reason I did that is for a few reasons. Number one, if you wanted to put little tiny photos under there, you know, to show your year or their year, that's great. I know somebody who did this, and then they tucked folded bills underneath each one as a surprise gift, and you have to push them right up into the top in order for it to hold them in, but she did that. So thank you again, ladies, for buying this kit. And it may be a while before I come out with another kit. The next kit will not be a Shabby Chic Christmas card kit. It will be a Christmas gift that you can make. But the next two after that will be Shabby Chic Christmas again. So thank you again, and happy creating. Take care.